Well, we've had a wild summer. We've had 2 epic television series, if you will, happen, representing perhaps the best of times and the worst of times. The first, 2 weeks of Olympic coverage, representing our drive to be the best we can be, that internal desire for strength. The second, 2 weeks of political convention coverage, representing that human quest for power. We went from 2 weeks of wasn't that fun to 2 weeks of that wasn't fun. But this central theme of strength versus power is so much about life itself and who we are. We watched Olympians in their quest for strength drive themselves to be the best they could be. And we saw politicians in their quest for power do everything they can to paint their opponents as the worst they can be. Strength is internal. Power is external. Strength inspires us to shape ourselves in service to the world. Power tempts us to shape the world, most often in service to the self. Strength gives us peace and harmony. Power brings stress and conflict. In the letter from St. James, he gives us instructions to not be lured by that outer world. He tells us, give no deference to that. When he says to not pay attention or prioritize the rich man with his rings and his lavish robes over the poor man with his rags, he's really saying, don't be lured by the trappings of power and prestige at the expense of the promise of inner strength. Don't give deference to the external world of power over the internal world of strength. And when Jesus takes this deaf man aside, apart from the crowds, and of course in all of these other miracle stories we have stories of him laying hands on people, and the crowd wants him to lay your hands on him, do that thing that you do. He takes him aside, away from everyone else, and he puts his fingers in his ears as if to close him off. Step aside, move away, shut the world out for a moment. To be whole, we must step away and focus on the internal. When we focus on what's going on inside and the internal, then we can be ready for our involvement with the rest of the world. It's a theme that we see repeated throughout Scripture, again and again. Strength, not power. When Moses confronts the Pharaoh and says, "Let my people go," he has no power. He only has the strength of his conviction. When Isaiah writes the people in exile and says, "Be strong, fear not," he's telling them and us to put your faith in strength, not in power. When Mary responds to the angel and says, yes, she is making a decision to have her life guided by her inner strength, not by the cultural powers that be. And when Jesus stands before the Sanhedrin and walks up Calvary and hangs on the cross, he has chosen to live and die based on strength, not on power. It's a central theme of our faith, again and again. This choice to live from the inside out as opposed from the outside in. This choice of strength over power. This choice to form my inner self in service to the world rather than trying to shape the world according to the preferences of the self. It defines what it means in many ways to live a Christian life. How are we doing with that? How are we doing? In our places of work, in our homes, in our neighborhoods, in our relationships with each other, in our relationships with our spouses, our children, and our parents, in our actions and our attitudes. Are we seeking to live from the inside out? Are we seeking to shape our inner selves with strength in service to others? Or are we seeking to control the power so that it best serves us? This is who we are. We are people of strength. This is what we're called to be. And when we focus on that, when we spend our energy and our effort and our focus and our prayer on developing that inner strength, on choosing to form ourselves with the strength of the Spirit, the strength of wisdom and courage and forgiveness and fortitude and understanding and right judgment, and to form ourselves to live from the inside out from a position of strength, as opposed to focusing on establishing power that shapes the world according to what we would like it to be. When we focus on strength versus power, amazing things happen. And love comes alive within us and is then able to flow out and affect the world and all the people in it.